Yo, K-Kunnnn here. It's that time of the month where we pretty much look back and start an overview of the current version 1.2. And we'll go through everything that we got in version 1.2 unless my debuff kicks in called lack of sleep and forgot something. But yeah, and let's get into the video with our badass queen with one of the most hot smacking physiques you have seen in ZZZ, and the baby-faced cutie patootie who secretly has a girly side. Twitter didn't like that for some reason. Classic Twitter, am I right? Caesar. Now Caesar is the generalist character in ZZZ. She literally works in majority of the team comps, and if you're a psychopath and put her on a team that only does evasive assist, though to be fair that still kinda works. But anyways, Caesar pretty much does everything in the game. She provides shields, CC, debuff, buff, a satisfying parry with her EX skill, and she basically acts like a pseudo DPS since you want to put the impact stat on her 6 disc drive slot, which her shield scales on as well. She's the Zhongli of ZZZ, the casual's best friend, and with the new permanent endgame mode that will be coming to version 1.3 called the Simulated Battle Trials. As you progress, it gets harder and harder, and they mentioned that you can't heal your characters until you complete the entire phase. So they're pretty much now kinda catering a little bit on the endgame combat aspect of ZZZ, which also makes Caesar a lot more appealing due to her buff, utility, and survivability she provides. Personally, I did not get her, but I have tried her on the ZZZ media server and she's kinda brain dead, but she's fun to play. She will stay in tier 0 for the longest time. I didn't really think ZZZ was going to make hard endgame mode this soon, but I might have to change my ways of thinking here with them pumping out content this quick. We are literally in the 3rd patch and there's already like 3 endgame modes we can play. Hey, call me ZZZ shill. The devs are cooking here, man. And speaking of cooking, we have the girl implanting fire brain rot onto our heads and giving us this beautiful screenshot that the community loves, Burnice. Now, Burnice, she's our first ever S-rank off-field damage dealer, who is in the fire anomaly class, so her gameplay pretty much is apply scorch onto the enemies and do her flamethrower double shot and switch to your main DPS. When your heat depletes, just switch onto her and do her EX skill. Now Burnice's value comes from that she deals damage off-field and applies fire anomaly off-field, which enables disorder to happen frequently. And you know what character loves to do a lot of disorder damage right now? Well, in the coming few weeks, and that is Mommy Yanagi. The value she brings to Yanagi is required to make Yanagi work since she can proc disorder without removing the current anomaly that is on to the enemy, which is freaking huge. But right now, she's the best option for a lot of anomaly team comps that wants to proc disorder like Caesar, Burnice, and Jane. One of the most comfiest team to play and probably the most expensive because 3 S ranks on a team is for the whales or some lucky motherfucker who posts their polls on Reddit and gotten like a back-to-back. Congrats! Happy for you? Nice. But yeah, similar to Caesar's case, she'll be sticking in tier 0 for a long time because I think in the future, let me cook here, there might be a chance that if we get another off-field unit that is anomaly, we would just put them on the same team with Yanagi and Burnice because a back-to-back disorder is just peak damage per screenshot, literally triggering a mini nuke onto the enemies. And if you're still around this part of the video, why not subscribe to the channel? It'll help me stay in the basement, which I appreciate. But anyways, speaking of nukes,
oh my God!
they actually nuked the TV system in this patch. I'm an advocate of less TVs in the story, and I want the word less to be emphasized because removed and less are 2 different words. My stance on the TV system is that it's an interesting concept, having the HDD connected to EOS and having this dungeon crawler style of navigation through the hollows while also giving story relevance to Weiss and Bell. But the execution of it at the beginning of the game is not good because it was slow and tedious. The 2x speed usually stops when you enter a combat stage, and re-enabling it gets annoying. The animation is fluid and nice, but it just slows down the flow and pacing of the gameplay and storytelling. But there are some TV stages that I quite liked in the story, like the train when the cunning hairs got stuck in the hollow, and playing the Crossy Road type minigame when they're escaping with the refugees, the stage in Balbog Industry where you control the Giga Robot and start smashing stuff. Obviously, some of the notable TV commissions are the Super Auto Pet Battler, the Tank Defense game, the coolest one, the Prophecy, which is basically Undertale, and one of the most out-of-pocket line that the devs added was this. That was the most unexpected line that actually made me laugh. And lastly, the mining TV commission in this patch. Mining stuff and upgrade your drill tool and leave nothing at the vicinity. I feel like the TVs for me is fun if they have their own unique gameplay to them. I wouldn't mind it as long as it's not long and tedious in the story. Well, anyway, the story for version 1.2 chapter 4 is pretty peak. So obviously spoiler warning just in case you haven't gone through it yet. So the first half of the story pretty much got me engaged and immersed because it just knows how to switch from storytelling styles from the screen to the ring to the pen. Okay, I'll shut up. From the yapping to the comic strips that showed the Sons of Caledon to the banger cutscenes with fluid and wacky jelly movements just keeps me locked in. The introduction of the Sons of Caledon is chef's kiss. Mwah. From the cutscenes where Belle or Weiss was unconscious, when Caesar starts yapping about our preparation of our funeral, going through each character's wacky personality and chemistry of the group. It's just a good showcase of show rather than telling. And most of the characters like Burnice, Leiter, and Caesar pretty much got their own stage and cutscenes to just showcase their personalities, which is like how they sell these S-rank characters like Polchara. When is she gonna be playable, Hoyoverse? Come on. Anyways, the racing stage is a good one-off gameplay. Maybe we could do this as well with Miyabi. Like literally imagine Miyabi riding a cyber bike and 07 to Pompey. Giga Chad character design that Hoyo put on the freaking disposable character bin, turning him into the sick looking boss, and the climax and ending absolute peak and the strongest plot armor we have seen in this game, Caesar. And I gotta know why nobody can ride like Johnny the Knight. When are you gonna freaking release the OST for this, bro? And finally, the ending where we get like a big fat lore drop regarding the siblings' past and their relationship with Karl Arna, who was the cause of the disaster of the old Eridu, and an unexpected Miyabi cameo talking about her mother and how she's gonna catch them all. So in summary, I love the story. I can't wait to see what's up in the story in 1.3 in the coming week. We also had the chance to do Burnice's character story mission, which showcased that she was a bit of a pyromaniac nut job who was also an angel who descended from the heavens. Literally, she was going to use the lottery money that they got from the old lady to throw a party so that everyone can have a good time. Like, I love how I have like a certain image of a character like Burnice at the start as an unhinged arsonist that will commit war crimes and break the Geneva Convention to organizing parties, to the most sweetest person you'll meet in-game. I like her story quest. We got an amazing cutscene of her 1v5ing ethereals, to a slow-mo shot of a grandma giving Burnice a thumbs up, to Piper clapping and slowly descending to depression because lottery tax money and her truck not working properly. Stay wacky and goofy, ZZZ. Now let's move on to some permanent stuff they added to the game, like Blazewood, a cool area. They should expand this more in the future. I've pretty much explored this place and maxed out all of Officer's Muse tasks. We also got the small addition of using characters in the overworld. Well, if you pulled on Burnice and Caesar, I know they said they'll add everyone in version 1.4, so we'll have to wait 2 more months for that. You have the dynamic wallpapers. Lucy's probably the wildest one, Caesar's probably the tamest one, with Piper chilling on her truck and Burnice passionately staring at us. I'm in love. We have the new arcade game mode called Bizarre Brigade, which is hella addictive. I've finished with 6 characters. My personal favorite is the Queen. If you get hit, you nuke the enemies. Periwinky, if you get the Galaxy Coin, the donut looking thing, your run is pretty much set. All the achievements I have to get are character specific achievements. And speaking of characters, I feel like the devs got lazy and just made 3 evolutions of the clam showing Aphrodite, the goddess of fertility here. The only thing I dislike about this game is this motherfucking circled horned Mike Wazowski. You don't know how many runs ended because of this guy. I'm going to start like a freaking witch hunt on this spiked basketball. But yeah, I'll revisit this just to pass time. It's hella fun. We have gotten the ambush note that resets every single patch, and every start of the patch we get our asses whooped because this endgame mode is pretty difficult if you're not locked in. You have all the time in the world, you're not restricted to like a timer like Shiyu defense, so that alleviates the timer stress, but you just have to basically just dodge and weave, use your defensive assist wisely, and know your enemy's attack patterns and timing, and you're pretty much set. Though, mobile players 07, good luck with that. We got the quicker version of Withering Garden called Blitz, which is just a nice addition for players like me who doesn't want to spend 30 minutes or more in the Withering Garden to max out their weekly rewards. Though, if you're considering doing the Throne game mode, you're better off doing like the normal Withering Garden because you get around like 24 to 30 resonums in Blitz, whereas in the normal mode, you can get up to 30 or more if you're lucky. But yeah, love this addition to make things quicker, you might get your ass whooped if you're a really casual player trying to 8k points or more. Now we can move on to the limited time events, so let's start with the Overlord's Feast that turned us into a fast food manager for Cheesetopia. The food they made doesn't look like a freaking fast food to me, bro. Like literally it's either a family restaurant meal or a freaking Michelin category of foods that made me kinda hungry for their meals, bro. Some of it was like wacky, like the cactus meal. The rest looks just so scrumptious. The minigame of like the Resident Evil inventory management was pretty fun. Well, most of them I pretty much brute forced it since I usually do them when it comes out, so no guide can help me with this one. In the story, I didn't really pay attention to limited time stories events unless they have like some huge lore drops, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. I did like the illustration at the end of the event, a nice touch to the grand success of being a fast food manager. Now, redo for you a quick puzzle organizing event. This is straight to the point, nothing much to comment here. 5 minutes of trying not to look like a freaking idiot and solving the puzzle to get limited time rewards and the name card for your account. Next up is roaming the ether, and this one's hella fun. Hit the weird looking virus as you move across the TV screens. My one problem with this is I don't know how to describe it properly. When you get really fast, your vision kinda gets a bit trippy because of the lack of movement animations on the screen. You just feel kind of like a janky, dislocated feeling when an object is moving so fast with minimal movements to them. It's like a rhythm game without the fluid animation to it. But overall, I had fun with it. They should do this more and improve upon it. A rerun event for the Arcade Hound minigame, some nice rewards and 15 minutes of casual PvP in the arcade, and molding at the stage where there are literally laser beams. Those freaking beams are fucking BS, man. And lastly, our freelancing girl Sajol, I don't know how to pronounce her name, is back at it again with an exchange of badge for free rewards in the span of 1 week from the shop owners in Lumina Square, called the 1-for-1 Friendship Fair. Nothing to really comment about this one since you just spam left click on the NPCs unless their name is Orchidea and Coco. Then I'm all ears. They could yap about how the earth is flat and I'll still listen to them. And we have the boot camp, which I don't know if this is permanent or limited, but I hope this is permanent because bro, free XP and you can try out a bunch of characters, try them in different team comps and scenarios, bro. Please keep expanding this one. If we have the whole crew from section 6, they should add them into this game mode or event, whatever you call it. But yeah, that's all the things I've remembered. Comment down below if I missed anything. So I'm going to rate this version an 8 head pats for Lucky Boo out of 10. But yeah, with version 1.3 coming out in just a week or two, we have a lot of content that's going to change everything. Yanagi enabling infinite disorder on the enemies if you're leaning towards the Anami class. If you're not, she's kinda doggy poo poo. Though if you're pulling for her just for her design, hey, why not? Lighter making ice and fire do more damage with his kit, which made me change my mind because I might actually pull for a lighter as well, bro. His English VA's fire, his character's literally fire, and he might be a good partner for Miyabi. We have the new endgame mode, which I'm excited for it to release. And to be transparent with you guys, I'm in the media server and I've been trying out Yanagi and messing around there, so I think I have like some grasp on how to play her. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Subscribe so I can stay in the basement, leave a like for the algorithm, and leave down in the comments what did you like about this patch. It can be the story, the combat stuff, or you just want to rant about the TVs. But yeah, bye!